Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Warcraft Remastered. The first in a monster franchise, Warcraft is back and playable on modern systems. But was it worth digging up? Let's find out. Warcraft Remastered is a modernized version of Blizzard's landmark 1994 RTS, then subtitled Orcs and Humans, and might have been a slight knockoff of Westwood's Dune 2. When it comes to the original game, Warcraft 1 is about as basic as it gets for an RTS, but that's mostly in part due to it setting a foundation that would be mimicked by other industry greats such as Age of Empires in the years to follow. Your units are split between working peasants and military units, with peasants needing to mine gold or cut down lumber to fuel the war effort. In your base, you'll need to build roads, a mechanic only found in this first game, as buildings can only be built next to those roads, and these buildings unlock future upgrades and units. There's two factions, the titular Orcs and Humans, and each have 7 units to construct. They're virtually identical except for a few spells. While the original game had Network Online, the remaster axes this, and only has the 12 mission campaigns for both factions, though it does keep the versus AI skirmish mode. The missions are very basic, and are either the build base, build units, kill other base, which is basically a skirmish map, or one where you guide a limited number of units through essentially a maze to kill everything. The remaster adds a host of improvements over the original. This early RTS hadn't yet established the common left-click select, right-click command control scheme, thus making it clunky to play in its original state, so the remaster has opted to modernize these controls. They also increased the selectable unit count from 9 to 12, as well as added smarter keyboard shortcuts and keyboard mapping squads. Of course, the graphical facelift is the most notable change, with both high-res UI elements and redrawn sprites. While originally I thought the new sprites looked kinda like Flash game assets, they did end up growing on me, and you can press the F5 key at any time to swap between old and new, which was a cool feature. And honestly, that's pretty much Warcraft Remastered, a basic but foundational game now given a new coat of paint, some modern controls, and available as part of the Warcraft Battle Chest. So what do I like about Warcraft Remastered? Well, the modern features greatly help this game be more playable in 2024. I booted up the original a few months back for nostalgia purposes, and quit pretty quick because it just didn't feel good to play. The remaster fixes a lot of this. Additionally, the fundamentals here are solid, if dated. This is a very basic RTS, but it still plays reasonably well and has engaging battles and economy, and the AI in particular was ahead of its time. And lastly, I'm just glad Blizzard took steps to preserve this game and keep it alive. I'm also glad they didn't completely bork the visual design like Warcraft 3 Reforged. Now make a modern port of Diablo. When it comes to the bad, Warcraft hasn't particularly aged well in several areas. The first big meh is the limited number of units overall. The fact that both factions basically have the same units, and when tied to the campaign missions feeling fairly basic, makes the game feel samey very quickly. Additionally, this game plays really slow, with tedious mechanics like roads, and the absolute slog that is resource gathering making matches feel dull. Plus, in most missions, the enemy starts with the base and you start with nothing, making it an uphill climb. And lastly, while some of the updates are nice, they should have gone further. Unit pathing is still absolutely atrocious, including attack move only working sometimes. Multiplayer, which was LAN only, is gone, and this is in addition to a thick crust of 1994 jank that they just didn't bother polish. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And here's the thing, I'm really happy this remaster exists, because Warcraft 1 is very important in both the history of RTS games and Blizzard as a company, and I, like many, are very nostalgic for it. However, Warcraft 1 really hasn't aged well. It's clunky, its missions are dull and not well designed, and the lack of any multiplayer is a bummer. I do still think if you like classic RTS games, it's worth its low price, or just get it in the battle chest, and if you're nostalgic, yeah, pick this thing up. But if you aren't, I'm not really going to encourage you go check it out. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played the original Warcraft? Do you have nostalgic for it like I do? Please let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, go out there, and if you remember liking this game, the remaster is definitely worth checking out.